And at the top of this hour, we're getting some breaking news from the United States. Zoran Mamdani takes lead in the New York City mayoral polls. New Yorkers vote to choose next mayor. Mamdani clear favorite in the three-way New York race. And Mamdani to be New York City's first Muslim mayor. Time shall tell that. But Donald Trump backs ex-New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. But what we're learning is that Zoran Mamdani is taking the lead in the mayoral polls in New York, and he is the clear favorite of the New Yorkers in this three-way New York race. And it is also pertinent to note that US President Donald Trump is backing the ex-New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. In fact, he also had threatened and warned New Yorkers that if they choose Mamdani as their mayor, then there will be a federal fund cut. But that does not seem to be making any impact, as we're learning that Mamdani is the clear favorite in the New York mayor race.
Those New Yorkers, and look forward to fighting for every single dollar this city is owed. What we see in the language of Donald Trump is a premise as if it is his decision on whether or not to fund a city the very money that this city is owed. And I look forward to utilizing every single tool at my disposal as the next mayor of this city to fight for the people of it. That means using the courts, that means using the bully pulpit, that means ensuring that we actually follow the letter of the law. And I know that doing so is something that threatens Donald Trump. It's why he's gone after Attorney General James, because she had the audacity to hold him to the same law that every New Yorker is held to. But I will not be intimidated by this president. I will not be intimidated by anyone, because my job here is to serve the people of the city.
Thank you guys so much. President Trump says he plans to reduce federal funding if you win. What are your thoughts on that?
President Trump also encouraged every New Yorker to vote for Andrew Cuomo. There are many things that he will say and that he will do that will not actually bear out in the results within our own city. I will treat his threats as they deserve to be treated, which are the words of a president and not necessarily the law of the land. And too often we treat anything that he says by virtue of who's saying it as if it is already that law. And it is time that we have a mayor who stands up for New Yorkers each and every day, not one who's willing to sacrifice those New Yorkers so that they can stand up for themselves.
All right, last question right here.
Phone banking.
Go ahead.
Donald Trump just put out a statement encouraging New Yorkers, saying they must vote for Andrew Cuomo. We know and have known for months that Donald Trump would favor Andrew Cuomo as the mayor. They share the same donors. They share the same small vision. They share the same sense of impunity. And yet in these final days, what was rumored, what was feared has become naked and unabashed. The MAGA movement's embrace of Andrew Cuomo is reflective of Donald Trump's understanding that this would be the best mayor for him. Not the best mayor for New York City, not the best mayor for New Yorkers, but the best mayor for Donald Trump as his administration.
And my colleague Rohit Sharma is now joining us from Washington, D.C. Rohit, despite Donald Trump's backing Andrew Cuomo, we're learning that Mamdani is the clear favorite in the three-way New York City mayoral race.
He is. I mean, look, there won't be any surprises, that he's going to win. He's been leading the polls since the summer. He defeated Andrew Cuomo in the primaries, forcing Andrew Cuomo to essentially run as an independent. And if you were to go by polls, he's going to win this. The polls are still, the voting is still on. The polls close at 9 p.m., but he has maintained that steady lead. And people in his campaign feel very confident that he's going to win. In fact, they're only waiting to see if he can cut the threshold above 51% to win this race. But the other big news here is, Anjali, is that Indian-American Ghazala Hashmi was just declared as winner of the lieutenant governor race in Virginia. She was born in Hyderabad. She's of Muslim origin also. I mean, not Muslim origin, Indian origin, and is a practicing Muslim. And she also has just won in Virginia. And I think that's one of the biggest news that will get a lot of headlines, because what we'll have tomorrow is we'll have two elected representatives in the U.S., one as the New York's mayor, the other as a lieutenant governor here in Virginia, both, who are Indian American, both who are Muslims, winning the races at a time when minorities have been under attack in the U.S. So I think it's going to be a big deal for Democrats. The only pending question right now is New Jersey, where from the look of it, it looks like Mickey Sherrill is leading right now, and that would mean that if all of these three races are won by the Democrats, this would mean the start of the blue wave, and will probably have some trouble for Republicans, especially going into the midterms next year. So Zoran is going to win, is what polls are saying. Ghazala has won. And Mickey Sherrill, on the other hand, in New Jersey, could create history by winning in New Jersey as well.
Right. Rohit, also help us understand what sets Zoran Mamdani apart from Andrew Cuomo.
Well, look, I think Cuomo, former governor of New York, old guard, old Democrats. I think New York has had this, New Delhi kind of a feel. They want to give somebody new a chance, is what I think New Delhi did a couple of years ago, a decade ago. So I think New York has been similar in their approach. He's running on a socialist platform. He wants to give free trains. He wants to control rent. He wants to, give a lot of freebies, which a lot of New Yorkers have gravitated towards. And he's not calling himself as a Democrat. He's more calling himself as a democratic socialist. So his platform is offering a lot of freebies that New Yorkers essentially, never thought that they would get in an expensive city like New York, where the energy prices are higher, inflation is high, there have been job cuts. So he's riding on the wave of these promises he's made that he can do that. Now, he does have a limited budget, which is about $118 billion. He has to manage it starting next year. But I think that's the message that has stuck with a lot of New Yorkers, that, look, we have a guy who's promising us all these things, and they're giving him a chance to see if he can deliver. When you ask him about specifics, he obviously doesn't have those specifics out there, but he will get to is what he's told everybody. Cuomo, on the other hand, Governor Cuomo, back in the day, one of the biggest names in the Democratic Party, was ousted due to a scandal, and is trying to make a comeback. But I think the people have moved on. And I think that's definitely helping Zoran Mamdani in this race.
Right, Rohit. So Rohit mentioned that New York is on the path of New Delhi, what New Delhi did a decade ago, wanting change, and that is what is happening in New York as well. Rohit, do stay with us. So we'll keep an eye on the mayoral polls that are underway, and Zoran Mamdani seems to be the clear favorite. Andrew Cuomo, who is being backed by US President Donald Trump himself, seems to be lagging behind, and Mamdani seems to be the favorite of the New Yorkers. The results are yet to be announced, but it seems like history is going to be scripted. Zoran Mamdani is going to be the New York City mayor. The results are yet to be announced. And now let us take a look at who is Zohran Mamdani. Now, he's a 33-year-old Muslim of South Asian heritage. He is the son of Indian filmmaker Meera Nair and Ugandan scholar Mahmood Mamdani. He's a Democratic candidate for the New York City mayor, and he was raised in New York since the age of 7. Now, he defeated former Governor Andrew Cuomo in the mayoral primary, and he's married to Syrian artist Rama Duwaji. And right now, he is leading the mayoral race in the New York City. And Rohit Sharma continues to stay with us. Rohit, it does not really seem to be a very good news for the US President Donald Trump, who has been backing Andrew Cuomo. In fact, we also saw him threatening and warning the New Yorkers to not back Mamdani, else there will be federal fund cuts.
Well, so there are two sides of the story here, Anjali. The first is, yes, he does not want Zohran Mamdani to win this race. He's endorsed Andrew Cuomo. Again, a photon friend for President Trump. They were at each other in 2020 during COVID. President Trump would come on air and he would, give his speech, and then he would go back to Andrew Cuomo, who would then, sort of give a rebuttal to President Trump. And he didn't have a choice in the sense that Curtis Silva, the Republican candidate, was not polling well. So President Trump decided to endorse Cuomo almost one day before the election. But more importantly, I think, the other side of the story, which I was trying to get to, is some people believe that President Trump is playing a 3D chess here. He actually wants Zohran Mamdani to win so that he could demonstrate to Americans that the socialist platform and the socialist democratic platform of the Democratic Party is not going to succeed. I think he wants this showdown with Zoran Mamdani. So that's another reason why he waited so long to endorse Andrew Cuomo just a day before the election, and that he would be able to use Zohran as a foil and go across the United States to say, look, if you want socialist leaders like Zoran Mamdani, then you should vote for Democrats. If you want capitalism and if you want progress, you should vote for Republicans. So I think, all in all, I think there are, two theories out there that he either wants him to win or doesn't want him to win. But we'll have to wait and watch. I think what is going to be more concerning for President Donald Trump would not be the New York mayoral race. It would be what happens in New Jersey. Remember, this is a state, that a lot of people thought would turn Republican, and we still do not have the entire results out. But from the looks of it, if New Jersey chooses a Democratic governor today, that would break a record of last 55 years, because they've already had 8 years of Democratic governance in that state. And if history, were to change itself, that would mean that people are moving away from some of the MAGA policies, and people are delivering a verdict onto some of the policies of this administration. So I think that would be a much of a worrying sign for President Trump and Republicans. New York race, I think, either way, I think, if Zoran wins, which he's going to win, he's just going to use that as to demonstrate that his message is better than Zoran's. But I think worrying signs for Republicans across the nation
All
if
right.
New Jersey is not won by the Republicans.
All right.